it can be very easy to wake up one day and be like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm going to have a lazy day. Especially on those days, do one thing that will move your business forward.
Don't ever use your abilities or your situation as an excuse to not work on something and grow and get better.
We're Sahara and Micayla, co-founders of Refine Marketing.
From corporate 9-to-5s to building and scaling multiple million-dollar companies in less than 5 years, we're not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty.
Giving you a raw and real look at what it takes to build and sustain a business.
This is Rise and Refine.
Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Rise and Refine podcast.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a lovely weekend. We are going to be really real with you guys today on what it looks like to be a business owner and kind of the overwhelming truths behind business ownership and entrepreneurship, especially as a woman, because I feel like there's just a lot more stigmas around women in business
and in leadership in general, even if you're not a business owner.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we wanted to title today, is the overwhelming truth about being a business owner. Yeah. So we've got some pretty overwhelming truths coming right at you. So you want to start with the first one, which is business ownership means everything is on the line.
Literally everything is on the line, because if you're not working, you're not making money, and it takes you constantly putting yourself out of your comfort zone every single day to make something happen in your business.
Yes.
I mean, you're not just born knowing exactly how to create a business, knowing exactly what steps you need to take, when you need to take them. There's no user manual on this. And so I think that it can be so tedious and overwhelming with every single thing, because you probably see all these like business coaches and business mentors on Instagram, and they're like, you need to make sure you do this, 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 and this, and you need to make sure you have this set up, and you need to make sure that this is over here, and da 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 da. And it's like there's so many different tabs open in your brain constantly, and it's like you close out one, and then it just actually minimizes, and then it's like, oh my gosh, and then you have random music playing, and then it's like
it's a lot
scatterbrain all the time.
Yeah, it's a lot of I think it's a lot of pressure people aren't prepared for.
Yeah.
Just with that, like when everything's on the line, it's like you're really giving it all. You're choosing to build your business and not like work up the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
So if you're truly giving it all, you're putting everything in one basket. Like, all right, this is it.
If this doesn't work,
let's go.
What am I going to do?
We have to start over in the future, right? So it's a lot. The next one is that it's lonely.
Yeah. I feel like business ownership in general, people don't realize how isolating it can feel.
Yeah.
Because you see, oh, it's so awesome to be a business owner. Everybody looks like they're starting a business, especially with social media nowadays. There's so many things out there that you can do.
Yeah.
But when you get sucked in and you are truly dedicated to building a business, building something for your future self, for your family, whatever that might be, you kind of get lost in it.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get lost in it.
When we say it's lonely too, like even for me, I've got like 40 people like I'm surrounded by, every day, part of all my companies. But nobody does what you do.
Right.
And that's the lonely part. It's not that some people out there, they're like solo entrepreneurs. We have a lot of businesses now that fully work from home, right? It's not even that we're talking about lonely in terms of you're not around people. I think it's more lonely that you don't have someone who does what you do on a day-to-day basis, that it's not like you can sit there and talk to someone and be like, here's what I have going on, and they truly understand it.
Yeah.
That's the lonely part to me.
Even being in a crowded room, you can feel isolated.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that really comes into play with intentionally surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be in life, but also who you will be willing to listen to when they do have something to say and do want to speak into your life and bring you something positive. But yeah, I mean, you have to, again, it's a choice. It's a choice to put yourself in those rooms. Yeah. It's a choice to step out of your comfort zone, approach somebody, have a conversation, even if it starts out kind of dry and kind of rocky. Yeah. It's just the action of actually taking that step to fight the isolation.
Yes, it's a lot. And I think if you, the lonely part, just find other people who are business owners and be a part of a community, build that community. But it's nice to have like other business owners to talk to.
Yeah.
To say like, do you guys deal with this? And they're like, oh yeah. And then you just to talk it out. But it's definitely a lot. It's a lot every single day.
Yeah.
So the next one is, this one's funny. You'll be poor for a while, and you'll be poor at different times. It can be 5 years later, and you got a big project you got to put a lot of money into. But yeah, being a business owner doesn't always mean you're rich.
No, it doesn't.
Unfortunately.
But it does. I mean, it means you're trying to find a need and fill it, right?
Yes.
You're trying to provide something to make somebody else's life better. That's the whole reason for having a business. But I know with Refined, I didn't take a paycheck from Refined until I absolutely had to, which was 10 months, almost a year.
Yeah.
Into opening Refined Marketing. And so I think you just have to really understand the amount of work that's going to have to be put in before you see that payout.
Yes. A lot of work goes in, and it's a lot of work without being paid. So always save money before you start.
Yes. At least have 6 months saved up to be able to pay your expenses.
Yes. 1,000%. And take it slow, because like being a business owner means you want this and you want to make that happen and you want to put money in this project, but you have to know like when to say yes and when to take it slow and look at your finances and be able to make, if you're like me, you're very impatient. You want to make it all happen at once. You have to sometimes just breathe and say, we'll do this right now and then this later on.
Exactly.
And that's very hard for a lot of business owners, but it's very smart financially to do things. But yeah, you don't just get to day 1 be rich, day 10 be rich, day 365 be rich.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of work, and it's the long game financially.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And make sure that you save money for taxes. Please do not blow everything that you have right from the gate. Like make sure you're putting 50% away for taxes. It's going to obviously be less when you actually have to pay.
Yes.
But then you have that cushion for yourself, for your business after taxes are paid.
Yes, 1,000% put back for taxes. Okay, the next one, this is really for you to talk about, but you're going to cry.
I wrote you're going to cry.
Yes.
Well, you are going to cry.
Micayla's going to cry.
Yeah, I am just a very emotional person in general. So I'm an empath. And I feel very deeply. And with that being said, when something happens to your business, somebody doesn't like your services or they don't like your pricing and they say no to you, that can be very hard to swallow at first.
And it's okay to cry.
Yeah. I mean, heck, I literally cried last Tuesday, and had a good little meltdown with everything that we had going on. I felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I just I gave myself 5 minutes to have a temper tantrum, had that temper tantrum, had a good cry, and got past it. But it was like, I needed to be able to feel those emotions. And sometimes the emotions are so heavy when you're owning a business because it is all on you. Like everything is on the line, like we said. And without you, this business doesn't work. And so it's very tempting to always try to be on. Yeah. But I think that it's more valuable when you're real with your community that, you're letting speak into your life. You're real with your followers and just being like, you know what? It's been really tough lately. This is what I'm struggling with. I'm going to be really transparent with you in X, Y, and Z and show that authentic side of you because you're not perfect. You're not always going to be on, and people want to see that.
Yes. And it's okay to have those emotions and go through them. So I like that one that you put, because I just push it away. I'm not a crier, but that's okay. It doesn't mean I don't feel things. It's just I'm not one to sit there and cry it out. Yeah. Like I'm a silent pain person, and I'm a silent emotion person. Like I'm crying on the inside, just not on the outside.
See, I'm an outward processor. Yeah. I'm like, I need to talk this through right now. Otherwise I'm going to internally combust.
And I'm an inside processor. Okay. The next one is, it's not as sexy as everyone makes it out to be. I love this one. It's probably one of my favorite, because I think that when you start a business or you're in a business, you're constantly comparing to where someone else is at. And a lot of people, whether they're 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, or even their first year, can make it look really sexy. because they're not showing the true behind the scenes. And that can make you have very unrealistic expectations for owning a business, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, comparison it's a thief of joy. It steals everything from you. And so it's very easy to get caught in the loop of looking at other people, looking at what they've done, the crazy lives that they're getting to live because they built this multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
It's like, it did not start out that way. Their first year, their first 3 years, their first 5 years, sometimes their first 10, 15 years, they failed over and over and over until they finally got their big break. But it's important to know where you came from.
Yes.
And even look at like
and where others started.
And exactly where others started. Look at their origin story.
Yes. Or even I like to scroll back on people's Instagram. Like it takes forever.
Yeah.
But I've scrolled back on people's Instagram before, or like their TikTok or something. And I'll be like, I wonder what it looked like when they first started. And it almost like makes you feel better because you're like, okay, well, if they were there and now they're here, then that shows progress and growth. And it's okay that I'm here now.
But I think you have a choice. You can either look at somebody that is in your field and maybe somebody that you aspire to be like, and you can look at them and say like, okay, I'm going to be jealous of you. I'm going to let that negativity in. Or you can look at them and be like, okay, they started here. I'm going to use this as inspiration and I'm going to let this fuel me to show me that this is possible.
Yes.
There's definitely two ways to look at it.
1,000%. Okay. The next one is you will doubt your abilities. And we have a whole episode, I feel like, just on that one with imposter syndrome, but especially when you're rolling something new out.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna be like, should I do this? Am I capable of this? And you just like the amount of things I have Googled and like researched and studied because I didn't know how to do something. I feel like being a business owner is constantly problem solving and adding new abilities to your skill set.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
Doubting if you can do it in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you have an idea, you go through like the 7 stages of grief almost.
Yeah.
It's like you're on this high and it's amazing and maybe not grief, but like, 7 stages of something. I forget what it is.
We'll have to create them and do an episode on it. 7 stages of
rolling out a new product.
Yes.
But pretty much it's like you're on this high when you first think of the idea and you think of all these things and it's so amazing. And then you actually start to dive into what it's going to take and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the skill set for this. I don't know what I'm doing. And you can go into this spiral.
It's normal to doubt yourself.
And you're always going to have symptoms of imposter syndrome.
Yes, always.
I don't think that's ever going to go away. No. You just get mentally tougher. You just grow more of a backbone because you're constantly trial and erroring. You're failing, you're learning, you're growing, you're changing. And if you're not doing that in your business, then you're just stuck and stagnant and it's not going to grow the way that you want it to.
Yes.
You're not going to grow the way that you want to. And so I think that, you taking those steps when you don't want to take them, like it can be very easy to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. I'm going to have a lazy day. Especially on those days, do one thing that will move your business forward.
Yeah. I think it's okay to doubt your abilities too, but it's not okay to make excuses for abilities. Because for me, it's like, there's so many people who are like, well, I'm just not capable of this because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I truly believe anyone is capable of anything. Yeah. It's just, are they willing to put in the work to like, okay, doubt the abilities. No, you can't do it. But you can put in the work to learn how to do it and work on it, work on yourself. And so don't ever use your abilities or your situation as an excuse to not work on something and grow and get better. Okay, the next one is you won't know what's going to happen or even what to expect. That's a good one because I never know what to expect. That to me is the scariest part is like, especially when it comes to choosing new things for your business or changing direction. Yeah. It's like new thing. You don't know what to expect or what's going to happen. And sometimes it's not going to work. Yeah. That's the scary part. However, it's okay. And there's always a reason for it. But yeah, I always say like a business owner, sales, anything like that is being a constant problem solver because things come up you don't expect and you have to immediately take action and know how to fix it like constantly every single day, putting out fires. Like you never know what to expect. You're constantly working on something.
And this is really where consistency and discipline come into play. Yes. Because you're not going to see immediate results. I mean, it's like you do something for 30 days and then you go and check the numbers. It's like, no. Yeah. do 90 days.
Yeah.
You can look back at the numbers, see what's working, see what's not, focus on what's working, but make sure you're not checking your numbers too early on.
Yes.
Because it takes consistent effort, and it takes that consistent effort to be multiplied over a time period to see actual results.
Yes, 1,000%. Okay, mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if there's really anything to say on that. Mistakes are inevitable. You're going to F up. You are going to fail.
A lot of people make mistakes and they want to pretend the mistake didn't happen. Please own your mistakes, because it makes it worse when you make a mistake and you don't want to address it. They know. They know. Like, address it. Like, make a mistake. Be like, oops, I did this. My bad. People will totally respect that more. And it's actually one of my pet peeves is when somebody makes a mistake and they don't address it. The next one, your family and friends will question you, and some may leave altogether.
Yeah, I think this is just a really, really brutally honest truth.
Yeah, that one is.
Because when you go off and you start something, you're probably leaving stability, and you're leaving stability in a job that is where you're working for somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that want to climb the corporate ladder. They want to, work for somebody else because they don't want to take the responsibility of owning their own company, the risks of all of that. Totally get that. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That wasn't for you.
Yeah.
With that, a lot of the times there's a very fixed mindset around business ownership that you have to have these certain qualities or these certain skill sets in order to be a business owner. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
But many times your friends or your family, they're trying to say it out of love. They're trying to just protect you because they don't want you to fail.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, if you have a burning desire to do something larger than yourself, for yourself and your future family, your future self, whatever it might be, do it.
Yes.
Act on it. You wouldn't have that if you weren't capable of achieving it.
Yeah.
Even if it takes you falling down, you losing people along the way, roadblocks, hurdles, you having to overcome and maybe become a new person altogether, it's worth that risk. And it's worth stepping out on faith to do that. And you will lose people along the way. I've lost friends in this that didn't understand the time commitment that I was giving to Refined when we first started. I had family members question me of, well, why would you quit a 6-figure job to do this? Like, you're putting so much on the line. Like, why would you risk it? They just don't
understand it. And some people don't mean it. Some people mean it out of hate, but some people don't. They just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's okay. It's inevitable. But when that happens to you, you either have a choice to give that life, that negativity from a family member or from a friend, or you have the chance to bet on yourself. And also, something else, check the fruit on the tree. Yes. I mean, y'all have heard me say this all the time, but you're not going to listen about cooking advice from somebody who's never cooked a day in their life, but you'll listen to somebody who's a chef. So when it comes to business advice, why are you taking business advice from your mom or dad who's never owned a business before?
Yeah. Choosing your mentors is very important. The other thing with this too, that I think some maybe, and hopefully I think we do have more experienced business owners here. Maybe you have team members. This can relate to team members as well. Like team members joining you, team members leaving you, but same thing, them questioning you, not agreeing with the way you do things. You're going to kind of handle this, I think, not only when you start a business, but as you make decisions in the business world, clients, team members, all of that. But at the end of the day, listen to feedback and choose who you talk to. But be very know what you stand for and the decisions you make. And, if others question you, just listen to feedback, but know what you stand for.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right. Next is, this is my personal faith. You'll work longer than your 9 to 5, which is so funny because a lot of people say I got out of my 9 to 5. Not only will you work longer, but eventually you'll get back into a 9 to 5 again.
Yes.
Especially when you have kids and you're a business owner. Because right now, we're probably very opposite in our schedules, but I'm very much 9 to 5, then off nights and off weekends. That's just what I've kind of created my schedule to be. But I'm still always on. I think that's the hard part. Like, there's some days where you're going to work longer than 5, you're going to start earlier than 9. So yeah, you work a lot.
You work,
Yeah.
but you are working for your own dream rather than somebody else's.
So you might not feel as exhausted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're probably so on fire. I mean, this is at least how I was.
Yes.
You're so on fire for building something for yourself that you don't realize how long you're working, or that you get lost in your work and you're like, oh my gosh, it's already 8 p.m. Like I haven't had dinner, or I haven't eaten today.
Yes. It takes a lot of work and a lot of hours. And you know what kills me is the people who are like, I didn't have to work much till I got busy, or it doesn't like sales or anything. It doesn't really take that much work. It's like, that's because you're not finding things to work on. Like you have to be very proactive and very resourceful. Of course, if you start your business, you're not going to have 20 clients ASAP and 20 team members ASAP. So of course you could be slow, but it's truly the people who think of work to do and become proactive and resourceful that will grow faster, because they're not waiting for the business to come to them. That's a slower start. So I think a lot of people put out this perception of, when I first started, I only had to work a few hours a week and I only had to do it part-time. Then I built up. You really have to give it your all and be resourceful and create your own schedule and create your own work. And a lot of people just don't have that. There is no such thing as an overnight success.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an overnight success at all. Everybody starts somewhere, and even the ones that are deemed overnight successes have probably been doing something consistently every single day for 5 to 10 years prior.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
It's not like you can wake up and be successful the next day. Even if you had a video go viral, I'm sure you posted a lot of videos before that, or I'm sure you worked on something before that. And even once it goes viral, you still have to keep it consistent, keep it going, keep it worthwhile. And so there's still a lot of work. But yeah, I think anything takes work. I don't think anybody gets lucky. I think there's luck in business, but I don't think anyone is so lucky that they're just all of a sudden successful.
No.
And that's just like, to me, I've never said that about anyone, and I never would, because that's putting down somebody's success and what they worked for.
Exactly.
Because I promise you, it's not overnight.
Exactly.
It's a lot of work, even once you become successful.
Oh, definitely.
If not more. Okay. And then the last one we have for an overwhelming truth is you start to look at things as opportunities instead of disadvantages.
Yeah. And I think this isn't necessarily like an overwhelming truth. I think this is just a mindset shift.
Yeah.
That can help you, because in the beginning you are looking at everything and it's like, oh my gosh, that's a huge hurdle I have to figure out, or that's a problem that I have to be able to solve in order to get to this next stage of my business. And it's like you're choosing to switch your mindset from, oh, that's a hurdle I have to figure out how to jump over, to I get to figure this out so that when somebody else comes onto my team or somebody else presents me with this same problem, I've already walked through it for them.
Yeah.
Or instead of for my business, I've walked through it for them, and I've already done that, so I can help them overcome it easier and with my experience.
Yes.
And I think that's just a huge mindset switch that you have. And I feel like I'm currently walking through this right now, because it's like there's so many things that we've had to overcome just in our first year and a half with Refined. But now it's becoming more and more evident that people that are reaching out to us, other designers, other women that are graduating college and who are looking to step into this kind of a space, are wanting advice on certain things that we've already had to walk through.
Yes.
And so it's neat, because it's like those challenges are presented to you to help those that come after you.
Yes. Opportunity, being able to see opportunities is a big thing in business, and being able to know what opportunities to say no to is also big.
Yeah.
I'm like a yes girl, or I have a hard time saying no to things. I have like the opposite of some people, because like I'm like, what if that's an opportunity being missed?
Yeah.
That's my issue, where some people see it the opposite and they're like, what if that doesn't work out? I'm just going to say no. Like that's too risky. So you have to learn how to balance that. And I feel like that can become a little tough. You have to learn when to say no, when to say yes. But like, if an opportunity is sometimes scary, sometimes just go for it and put in your all. And it's important.
Yeah, definitely. Again, this is just us speaking from our experience about the things that nobody told us when we got started with Refine Marketing. I know that these things weren't presented to you when you were wanting to start Embry Group. And so I hope that this just helps somebody out there to realize, like, whatever you're feeling in your business, you are not alone in it. Somebody has been there, they've walked through it, and there's opportunities to learn from their mistakes instead of making those mistakes yourself. And so with all that being said, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are enough for your business, and you are capable of having the business that you have.
Yeah. Just one more overwhelming truth we didn't add is don't be jealous of other people's businesses. Be proud of your own, because I see a lot of jealousy in the business world, a lot. And I think it's easy to get caught up on having those jealous feelings and looking at where someone else is at. But I think we just need to love our own business and be grateful for it and the opportunities we have, and grow from there, and just stop comparing and being jealous, because that jealousy will eat you up.
Yeah, it definitely will.
We hope you enjoyed these overwhelming truths.
Yeah.
You want to end it out?
And if you have any questions on any of these, or you want to dive into these further with us, please DM us on Instagram at Rise and Refine Podcast or at Refine Marketing _. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us. We'd love to hear from you, and hope you guys have a wonderful Monday and a great week.
Have a great Monday.